Hi, YouTube. Excuse me. I hope you're doing good. I'm doing okay. I'm laughing because my granddaughter just made a little video, and in there she had Grandma. Yeah, I'm here. And the people I'm talking to, honey, are not, um, they're not children. So they're not really, they don't get a free pass. They're not excused for things that you learn about after you're told. These are people that are told by the word of God and they're not listening. So don't worry, even if I am a little quiet sometimes, if my grandchildren do something a little bit silly. I'm always here for you and with you, and I trust that your faith will be strong for you and you'll be okay. And I know you got a lot going on, like coming up here, and my thoughts and prayers are with you for that. So yeah, no worries, honey. Now, if you were like 30, 40 years old, I might be having a problem with you, but not so far. So far, so good. You're okay. So anyway, have a good day, Peanut. I love you. So, okay, everybody. Um, wow. Talk about the established satanic regime in the world coming against the nuclear family with their adulterous ways, making excuses for it and getting their, like, um, college or university funded acolytes to get out there and spread their bullshit because they're all loose in more than one way. It's pretty bad, but the people that love the family life and try and keep ourselves away from the rest of type of stuff like that. We're banding together too, so don't worry there. We're all in the same camp. So, yeah. Oh my goodness. Um, so far today I watched three really good videos that I shared in my community. I think I shared one from Israel News Live that was really good. And then he had a second one today that was really good. One was from yesterday or like 14 hours ago. And the other one was like, oh, maybe an hour ago. And Archaics had a most excellent and enlightening um, video on even the language that's used in the scriptures, but Job being the oldest book in the Bible, and the language that was used even before it was mishandled by shady characters. That's a nice way to put it. But anyway, so Archaics and Israel News Live just hit it out of the park for the people today. So I would recommend those two in my community for you. I don't think you'll be disappointed. So, yeah. Oh, it's kind of chilly here today. I thought we were having a heat wave coming up, but it's 70 and cloudy, so I can't really even open my windows. Well, it's a little breezy, not windy. A little breeze, maybe a couple miles an hour, but even that blowing in would make it like 60 something. So I don't have the heat on. The sunshine is warming up the house, but geez, if it's cold tonight, I might even start a fire in the in our wood stove or turn the gas on. Yeah, it's that chilly today. Oh well, that's okay. So much for global warming. you know. Cheers, everybody. Excuse me. I just never thought I'd be so hated because I'm not a slut and I won't tolerate it and I won't teach that it's permissible or even forgivable, you know. For God to determine that within a person is one thing, but for me to speak on it as a lesser evil than it truly is will never happen. And it's weaponized love, uh, uh, fleshly desires disguised as love is the most dangerous thing for the youth in the world. As we speak, it is the very one most dangerous thing, you know. That is very true. Ooh, who was it? Somebody. Oh, um, speaking on, and I'm just gonna say it like it is as a um, former drug TMA and counselor, trained medical assistant and counselor for a drug rehab center. I was watching a clip from Christopher Green from, oh, I don't know the name of his channel offhand. I don't watch him. He's about as fake as they come. I don't even believe what he portrays himself living on this great estate. It looks like a Hotel 8 or you know what I mean, in a fancier location. Looks like he's in um a hotel room or a motel room somewhere that has a swimming pool. That's the, to me. And I've been in a lot of them because I enjoy that when I travel, you know, unless I'm camping. But yeah, I enjoy my places with the pools. And that's what it looks like to me. And it also looks like he's got a speech impediment that's connected with either cocaine or crack cocaine, period. My observation as a trained professional, that's my thoughts on that. So, anyway, so people are sending him money. Wonder what that's for. Yeah, okay. You know, drawing a line. yeah, I don't think that was the line that Christ drew somehow, you know. But yeah, you never know nowadays, right? Because um, Jesus never grew up to be a good man, and he's coming back as a filthy one, so he will fit in with the current times. No, I don't think so. Help. No, God is helping me. He's got a lot of great minds and hearts that are speaking for people that are helping me out. And uh, Awaken with JP had a really good one too. And he's not being silent about the immorality that's being pushed by pseudo professionals pretending they care about other people because teaching somebody that adultery is ever a good thing is not cool, and God wouldn't approve. We all know that. So that's the end of that right there, you know. So anyway, you know, jeez, the shit that's going on that people believe you're gonna get a free pass for. Wow. No. Yeah. So, I don't know. I was gonna. Oh, oh, just real quick. There was a person talking about the 13th Amendment that I had mentioned in one of my videos, and whether or not that was ratified within the states, and if it, back then when it was written, only took 9 states to implement that law. And regardless of that, with the sub-statutes, like I say, I would have to look into them, whether it was ratified. But there's a lot more than just 9 states now, so if a third of them were in agreement, it wouldn't take too many more than the original 9 anyway. So I don't know, I have to actually look into that. But that really doesn't have too much bearing. I mean, the legalities of my country or anybody else's, as far as, let's put it this way. If their law tried to overseed or serpentseed what God instructed my heart to do, they'd have to kill me, because I would be doing the Word of God above what they told me to do. And the way the scriptures have been so twisted and misconstrued to suit greedy men that don't even see the error of their ways because of their own fornications or greed or whatever that case may be. Could be misplaced love, even. I've done that, so I'm fully aware of those type of feelings. But God comes first in my life, first and foremost. So anyway, so I would just have to die, because I'm going to do what God tells me first. And if anybody doesn't like me because of that, and they insult me or hurt me, and I get angry and we start arguing, well, you can just go ahead and keep not liking me and telling me that in so many words, because I'm still not going to back down. It's not going to stop me loving myself and the few people that do love me and help me out here and want to see me succeed. Yeah, those type of people, you know, ones that won't deny my name. Good joke, huh? Yeah, whatever that is, right? Yeah, but I'm not letting it go. These professional con artists with degrees pretending they're part Christian and part not. Like, oh, you can't really believe in God because you're a scientist. I understand. Therefore, you can do anything and say anything you want to do, because you're denying your creator and worshiping the image. So there you go. Have fun. It's just a fact. There's millions of people just like you. That you are not special like that. And really, I'm gonna tell you once again, and raise your hand, people, if you could look in your life on a daily basis and see the special things that God did ahead of time for you. And there's no mistaking it. It's not a coincidence. We all have that gift from Him. We all have that gift. Just a matter of if we're aware that He did something for us like that, or whoever He had do something for you like that. That That's something special he does for all of us, and it isn't a coincidence. No, it isn't. If you're thinking how somebody you'd like to have some help, or you hear a certain word, like you're reading something and listen to a video, and all of a sudden them two things come together. It's like a confirmation that God's with you. You know it the second you hear it. Or if you see something and it's like similar to what you're seeing, it's not a coincidence. Of course, God's capable of doing more than just making human beings, you know. So, and the wonderments that I look forward to with my soul forever, he's ahead doing that is entirely remarkable. But it's the way it is, for everybody. It's just whether or not people are aware that he's with us all the time like that. I do get a little lonely for like human companionship. Yeah, compassion too. um, which is a rare commodity nowadays. But I recognize it when I see it. As lonely as it feels, the reality is still there that he works through all of us like that. So, but still, and I'm just going to say it like it is, nobody could presume my heart um, by an example of somebody else. It'd be like if a woman took my name and went out there and pretended to be me, but the representation of who I am on the inside was just vacant. It could look like me, it could have my name, but it wouldn't be the same. But then, what if I got hurt because of that representation? Because people actually thought that that's how I was. Well, that would be a horrible thing, you know? And I have been treated like that, but a lot in my life. But when I recognize injustice towards the whole world, that's when I got to open my mouth and step in and say, I don't care. I'm going up against neuroscientists now and their institutes and all their hose bags they want to bring in. Well, too bad. Then I guess I won't be the most hated um, scientist in a professional sense for your heart or soul. I think somebody else has kind of um, got that lead role, but I'm getting up there on the scale where, yeah, yeah, I do. I mean, yeah. Oh, I am trying so hard today not to let these creatures upset me. It's like I want to talk to you without being radical, but yeah, it's not an easy thing. And that's, part of my act as far as keeping my strength and not appearing weak to the people that want me dead and my children, so when you're a woman doing that type of thing entirely alone, it's a little more dangerous than if you were a little bigger of stature or whatever, and I think you get my point, and maybe you don't, and that would be okay too, because there are a lot of stupid people on the planet, so I hope you're not one of them, you know. So really, if you don't like me, just go away. Don't even don't even think that I would care about you, you know, because you would be deceiving yourself with the rest of your shit, you know, and that's just where you would have to reside with your shit. So, and all the rest are shit. All together now. That's what Satan would say to you. I'm making a joke. Like he was the orchestrator of the music as far as putting musical groups together and voices, and um, it's not the same as the choirs of God. It's he didn't um, compose anything original. He just put together what was already there, you know, because he had a great voice, but he wasn't the maker of the music, is what I'm trying to say. You know, of course, we all know that, or we should know that, you know. Stephen Ben-Danoon has a video on the red heifer. There's more symbolization behind that female red, as in the extinction of the Native Americans being sacrificed on Israel's altar as she cannibalizes the United States of America. There's a lot of symbology behind that red heifer they're sacrificing. A lot of people are helping them sacrifice that. Would be just the same as laying your mother or your daughter, whoever, whatever female that you love. If it truly is a female, it'd be like laying her on the altar and letting Satan devour her. That's what they're doing to the Christian heart and the traditional nuclear family in my country. And that's what that is symbolizing. How America is literally paying and paving the way for the Antichrist and the Christians that don't have the depth of that understanding that are helping them. So, which would be, like I mentioned a couple weeks ago, Paul Bagley and those type of, you know. I was watching Skip Heitzing. I like the way he preaches. It's a familiar feeling to me, being raised as a Lutheran and actually being forced into Catholic school for a time and different things. But he is the pastor of a Calvary Lutheran church, and they were singing, and I was listening to it live, and it was great. But it just went on and on for like 15 minutes. The same song, you couldn't tell one song, you couldn't distinguish it from the next. They ran them all together for like 15 minutes. He preached for about 40 minutes, or maybe they sang for about 20 minutes. It was really, and the vibe of the music to get you in that repentive vibe. It's a note, it's the notes in the music that are constructed in a certain harmony to put you in that frame of mind in these churches. Well, okay, so at the end of it all, they went into their singing again. It's like, okay, I just cannot do this. I love some Christian songs, but the vibe of it and the harmony of it, I mean, beautiful voices, but the feeling of it just, it got to me. It's like, unsub, I couldn't deal with it. So if it was just him preaching, if they just had videos of him preaching and left the rest of the service out of the thing, I could deal with it, but I just couldn't handle it. It was like, to me, it was like, okay, I had a preacher when I was a kid that I really liked, and I always felt like he was picking on me because I would sit up in the front row a lot of the times. So I would get the full gist of the sermon that he was talking about. So I guess I did get it. But he would have like a deacon or parson or one of the, like one of the understudies come in and read out of scripture and teach and give their thoughts on that. And when that would happen, it would flip me out because it's like, because the understanding of it wasn't there and it bothered me. So even like way back then, I could decipher from the Spirit of God in somebody or not, and they knew it too. They knew it the whole time. So anyway, so when that would happen and I knew they were going to have a different speaker than what I wanted to hear, I would go sit up in the balcony that was closer to the bell tower, and so I didn't have to be subjected to a bunch of nonsense, Oh, anyway, yeah, I did love my church, though. And then we moved, and I didn't have a choice. It was way too far to even get there. I wonder if that was a part of the plan, too. Could be. But anyway. Yeah, this church, my adopted dad even went to that church. It is so old. It's that old, you know. So no, I'm not going to be quiet on the adultery thing. I'm going to keep teaching anybody who will listen that don't give up on what you want in a family and what you see that a true family and a relationship is. Ladies and gentlemen, young people, listen to me. Just keep doing it the right way, and the people that truly love you and cherish and value your values, your core values that come from your soul, will gravitate towards you. You don't want the wrong people gravitating towards you. It causes more stress and strife in your life that Christ already died for all that. He was our example like that. So don't think that you have to relive the turmoils, although the world will treat you like that. It isn't allowed. It's already been paid for by his coming into the flesh to help us. That was already done, and don't let them pretend like it wasn't. And that's a really important thing to know, that most of what was written in the scriptures has already been fulfilled. That's one thing that I can really agree with Stephen Ben Danoon off Israel News Live. Oh, and I'll just say it like it is. I do not like his spouse because she's of the Canaanite bloodline, and still with her language and her dark persona that I see through. When you want the actual female spirit of that, what is on the planet for women and children to cease to exist for your own lusts within your soul, I recognize that, and I can only say how I feel in my heart. I would not recommend listening to her. I would barely recommend Israel News Live, depending on what he's talking about, because he refuses to go back pre-Hebrew. So, and I was gonna put a link to Jason from Archaics proving it once again, and I thought, no, if he wants to act empty and believe he's full, I can't help him like that. I've tried to talk to him like that. All I can do is keep saying what's in my heart. I can't say anything else, but I can try and protect people from being deceived and in the areas and who might be doing that to you, and that's all I can do, you know. And that's, I don't know, if somebody wants to think I'm a hater, I'm not the one that doesn't care if people live or die. I'm that other one. So don't be confused on that. But if you do, and you want to take my anger as some kind of satanic force and pretend away, you pretend away. But it, you know, so whatever. I may act mean, but that is not who I am. And that takes a lot to get me in that mood. Don't do that. It's not going to be pretty for you, you know. So anyway, I'm not saying that Stephen Ben Danoon's wife doesn't have any information that's not relevant. I'm just saying the deceiving part of it all is not going to be worth it. There's other places that will give you that same information, like me with the Noahide laws. I was talking about them since my childhood, and everywhere I go ever since then. On Facebook a long time ago, and you know, out online in different forums for a very long time here. So I will not direct somebody to a dangerous place where other things can be snuck in under the covers, regardless of the strength in that family. It's like, okay, if I were to say to you to trust in Doug's words 100%, no matter what I say, I would be leading you wrong, because he has some ways that are self-serving that aren't going to benefit you. So I cannot, with a sound mind and a sound heart, recommend something that may be dangerous for you, you know. So I'm just using as an example, Doug. So when you watch this, and you know what I'm saying is true, every word. So anyway, so that's why I can't recommend her channel, because she's Khazarian Slavic bloodline for Satan. So under the guise of the pretense of I might get a lot of flack for this, even in some people's hearts, but you know, it's just what it is. So believe whatever you want about me. I don't care. I know the bloodlines of these people. I know where they come from, and I know who they serve and why they're doing it. And when it means like the elimination of me or you as a woman and a female that believes in God and has the Christ Spirit in our heart, when we see people that don't and they're pretending they do, we know that they are not of gentle heart and soul that means us well, and we need to protect ourselves from that. So that's the way it is. Well, I just said it, Mr. Danoon. So there you go, and you know it too. Whatever. Good luck with all that. Don't we all just try that, you know? It's out of our hands. But yeah, beware people recommending even their spouse. If you think that they're righteous, that doesn't mean their other half is truly their other half. So just beware all that. You know, some of us just really don't have another half, you know, no matter what it looks like. So anyway. But that red heifer thing is true. And I'm sure, I bet, and I'm going to say it ahead of time, Jason from Archaics is going to present what I just told you about that with the symbolism. He'll present it to you. And that might go hand in hand with the drinking of the blood and eating of the flesh, like here is my body and here is my blood, and that type of thing. And the sacrifice that was supposed to be the last sacrifice had already been made 2,000 years ago. So these people are demonic, and it's the way it is. It's what they're doing. So yeah. But I'm not going to let somebody sit there and say, like, well, I'm giving you the bread of life and you're actually killing people. you know, be like me saying, um, to one of my granddaughters, I love you, but I would recommend. No, this is a joke, so don't take this serious, young people. I would recommend you get with a man that's doesn't love just looking at only you, and you both become like that, and then make children and teach your children like that too. That would not be me giving you the bread of life. The bread of life would be like, okay, we've all seen marriages fail out on this planet, but that doesn't make it right for us not to teach what a true marriage between a man and a woman is, and instruct the young people on this planet the healthy ways to go about that. Now, that's the bread of life. That's the true Word of God. That's the most important thing within a family right there, is the foundation, the mother and the father being healthy to raise those healthy people, regardless of what it looks like in the public eye, because you and I both know that you can see somebody with a fancy car, fancy house, fancy clothes, which I have beautiful clothes. I just choose every once in a while to put on my old t-shirt and just talk and not make appearances for appearances' sake, but for the sake of people's hearts. So that's where I'm coming from, because we all know that we see these people fail right before our eyes with a great big F for fail, and they keep persisting and insisting that they're getting an A plus. They not only get an A plus, but they are the teacher themselves, the ultimate Messiah, you know? And that's not, it's not somebody I would recommend, somebody that's giving you half-baked information. You know, if it doesn't correlate and coincide with the family structure, you're being led wrong. Whether or not you have family or spouses or whoever you are, the structure of the family, everybody has a mother and a father, period. And the structure of a family, that is a mom and a dad and the children. This is all tangible and real for I don't know how many thousands of years, and nothing else, just because they call it that, makes that real, because it's not. It's their fantasy and their satanic ways that they're trying to push on what truth is. They're trying to take the truth out of the world and God out of your heart. So don't let them do that. Anyway, yeah, I'm not too pleased with people making money off of teaching adultery. It's not something I'm going to get over. In fact, I'm going to so not get over it that I'm just going to get worse about it. So if it isn't your thing, hearing me talk about it, or that it would convict your heart listening to me, or you're heartless, whatever, this isn't the place for you, you know. And nowhere I'm going to be is going to be the place for you. Pretend if you want, but that's a fact. And I do leave people out of my life that aren't worthy. So, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And that's the way people are. Birds of a feather flock together. And they do, you know. So anyway. And if they don't, if you're like me and you'd rather live a lonelier life than be surrounded by fools, and believe me, it's a lot less stressful, then you'll probably come to that determination when you're probably about 50. You might be getting a little fed up with the worldly ways, and it kind of lessons, like, well, tolerate, no toleration, no more, no more. It doesn't just come with age. It actually might have been there from birth, but you can never give so much of a chance to see, well, maybe I heard this wrong, or maybe I don't really understand this person. Maybe they have an emotional deficiency that I might be able to help with or something. But you can only examine a person's soul so much before you really got the grasp that the world is more important to them than you are to them. And then you have to make that separation and say, okay, I got some lonely days ahead of me until I really find them true friends that aren't going to insist that something that isn't good for me is going to be good for me or benefiting me at all, because it's just not. So, and to my granddaughters, if you're ever around a dude that watches porn, you can do this if you want, or you could do what I would do. Walk away. Big time. Or you could take the time to say, I'm looking forward to a marriage in my life with one person and only seeing one person without their clothes on. And I want the same in my life. And if you don't want the same in your life, then we can maybe be friends, but it would have to be at a distance because I'm not going to engage in these type of activities. It's not to my liking. And I hope you can say that with strength and conviction. And they could say, well, don't judge me, and you don't know what you're talking about, and I can believe in God and still do this. That's bullshit. That's not the God they're serving. So just leave it there and love them on their level, and you gotta let it go. You know, well, that's all you can do. And keep searching for those good ones out there that are going to make healthy friends for you, not the dirty, filthy ones. You will end up hurt because of it, unless you want to join in with it. And in that case, your soul will not be around me, and that would sadden my heart. But you would be just one of them, and I would have to deal with that, no matter who you are. So just keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. And that's really what we have to do, you know. Anyway, excuse me. There's something else that with Jason from Archaics that I expect to be being brought out to the light from language. He's waiting. I know there's some big bombs he's going to drop on everybody. And they'll be just like with me in this whole porn thing and being hated because of it. Like I don't have a right to be angry. Yeah, well, I do. Probably more rights than people that wouldn't care about that because it's affected me and my loved ones in ways that I recognize and protect them from or have tried to. So just be prepared to be hated. And yeah, we do have to develop a thicker skin. It's a little hard to do, but yeah, it's a necessary thing. So, but Jason's going to be bringing some things out into the light that a lot of these biblical preachers are not prepared to gather. And I would say because of their greed for money or closeness with people in their household or whatever the case may be, because they're weak like that, which I do equate with evil, like I was saying, and I had shared a professional doctor of psychology equating that weakness with evil because you are siding with the foe. You are in that camp. There's only one path and you're not on it, you know. So that's who you are, the personification of evil for them, no matter what your reasons are. So just be prepared for things coming up here with proof of language and timelines and bloodlines and different things that are going to come out into the light that other people are not going to be able to deal with because of their own greedy ways, no matter what reasons they are. So, but things will come out. I'm just thankful for the people that do watch me, that appreciate and love me and can understand my anger when I get there. It's like, wow, blow me away. I share information from a professional that's highly regarded by most of his peers and highly disrespected by others of us that can see through his falsehoods. So, yeah, that's disappointing out of professional people pretending to have the one true God in their heart. Yeah. Unlike some of them crazy doctors out there that watch me, that do have God in your heart and don't have to sit there and blow your own horn about it every day because that's who you are. You know, you don't have to prove that. And you even talk like you're half whacked. Um, that's why I'm not naming any names to the three of you that I'm thinking in particular. Because you're not afraid to be yourself because God's rolling with you and you can afford to um, appear to be somebody you're not, just like the rest of them, only it's on the other side. And I see you. I do appreciate that. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I'm sure your odd ways have saved your life in a lot of, just like me. And I see that. I I do. I just want to let you know that I recognize that in you. And that's really neat. Oh, I had shared Dr. Sean Baker's video, and then right after that, he put up another one of a crackhead, a ex-crackhead, um, putting him down for his diet and the way he thinks and whatever. And I'm thinking, okay, and I'm going to say this, ugly, skinny little twerp. Yeah, right. Have to. And he said Dr. Baker was smoked crack or something in his rap. And I'm like, wow, we can really tell who the cracky is, you know. Kraken, release the Krakens. That brings a new meaning to that term. Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah. If you don't know who Sean Baker is, Dr. Baker is the carnivore doctor. Um, and no, he's not a crackhead. And pretty much you can tell by his strength of mind and heart and body that he's not an unhealthy person. So, yeah. Anyway, he was wondering if he should debate this person, and it's like, well, it could bring some more attention to his cause in the world, meaning Dr. Baker's cause of wanting people to be healthy. So, yeah, maybe. Otherwise than that, I wouldn't waste my time, but yeah, maybe. Yes, anyway. So, yeah, old Jordan Peterson was putting out some more of his Exodus series. Are you serious? No, you're not. You're as fake as they come. You need to go sit down. Or if anybody, have you ever seen the movie Hannibal, where he throws that tea towel on Krenler's face and tells him he's excused to the little boy's room, and he takes the wheelchair and pushes it into the kitchen after he had cut his head open and made a meat part of his brain. That's wild. But anyway, reminds me of that. You're excused to the little boy's room. You know, brain dead. That's a good book. Hannibal is a good book. Really big time study into the human psyche. Wow. Not just the movie, you know. Or Red Dragon, the last one in that series from Silence of the Lamb. And then it goes backwards, but at first Silence of the Lamb, then Hannibal, and then Red Dragon. But the book starts with Red Dragon, and then Silence of the Lamb, and then the uh, epilogue, the ending of it. So they kind of reversed it just to make money off the movies, but the book was really good, yeah. Like most things, a lot of what they make a movie out of isn't going to be the entire story, so. So anyway, once again, I'm grateful for the people out there speaking the truth, no matter who it offends, worrying more about other people than they are themselves. And I know some of the warfare is right in your own home. Just step it up. It is not going to get any better, so you might as well just be all out who you are and stop pussyfooting around and stop being passive towards a monster and tell it like it is and do things the way we're instructed to do things. It doesn't work any other way. Not for the good of mankind. It works for their downfall if you're not doing what we're instructed in our hearts. So that's entirely up to you. Oh, that Sam Bognan pulled up some studies about as far as being empaths being narcissistic. I agree. I was sharing stuff last year about what they would call like the dark empath. That would be people that actually don't, like if you see well, like for instance, I saw somebody with gangrenous spot on their hand being dug out of there, and I got physically ill. I was still able to like stand and function, but let me see what my point was. Wow, that was gross, but uh, let me see. I was gonna make a point with that. I'll get there. I'll get back there. Um, or will I? Yeah, I will. I got to get that image out of my head for a second. I think it was the point I was trying to make of standing still or being able to keep your strength even in the face of something that's really horrible. Like if somebody cut themselves open and they were bleeding, are you going to get freaked out and worry more about yourself? Are you going to freak out and worry about tending to closing up that puncture in another human being? Or, like, once again, are you gonna, like, let it affect you to the point where you're of no help whatsoever? In fact, you might even be in the way. You know, I think that's what I don't know. I'll have to get back to my original thought if I get there, but I'll hang around with you for a while here and see if I can gather that. Maybe not. It's okay. I don't know now. Oh well. But it was something on the line as far as staying strong for God, even in the face of all the evil that we're confronted with, whether it's directly, and it usually is, because Satan is not going to let a person with God's heart walk around in just peace. It's just not going to happen. It might someday, but right now we don't have that luxury. And if you're like me, you've never had that luxury. And when you see other people making excuses not to stand up strong, dismiss them as the foe that they're helping, because they are no use to you whatsoever. That's what I was saying. It's like a nurse that would faint in the operating room. What good are you? Get out of there, you know. You're of no help whatsoever, you know. And then any sermon you would give would be totally half-baked. It might be entertaining, but it isn't going to be of value because you're not all there with it. You have your heart in other areas that we aren't supposed to go. So, anyway. I mean, if you want to go there, go there. Don't take me with you, or don't try to, I should say. You could never take me with you, but you may take somebody that I care about with you, and then, well, then we'd have a big problem, wouldn't we? Yeah, we would. Or we do, you know. And that is the big problem, is people teaching adulterous ways are acceptable. Maybe in your camp, but not mine. So, and yes, men can control themselves. They sure can. Some of them. Not most of them, but some of them can. So ladies, don't think just like all men are just like lack strength in their sexuality, because not all of them do. I've met honorable men like that. So, I've also met ones that end up hating women and taking it out on other women because they were treated poorly by one in particular, whether it was their mother or their spouse or maybe even a sister, whatever. I've seen guys that are just, and women too, that treat men just dirty on the premise that somebody else had treated them dirty like that, and they may resemble or act or whatever like that. And it might not even be who they are at all. So you have to search their souls and know who they are in their soul. And then, and that's who we feel. Even electronically, we can sense another person's soul, you know. And when I sense the dark that wants me dead, well, I'm going to point it out and I'm not going to pretend or play with it. And when my aggression comes out in that area, you're going to have to eat it because you asked for it. So, and that's very true. Oh, but back to Archaics. He's got some stuff coming up, and I just know it because the Spirit of God is working in this man, and he's not backing down. He spent years and years alone, like I did, and just for this reason to make some kind of sense out of everything that he was feeling inside, and he's not backing down. He's a true warrior for the goodness. And I know he's going to be nailing them. He's already proved who the true Israelites are, what the lost tribe is, and everything, and that they're already in their place, and the temple isn't what we think. And I just know what he's going to be coming up with next is going to really help a lot of people understand a lot of things they didn't before. And I wish that Stephen Ben Danoon would start listening to Archaics, because with them two correlating together, they could really enlighten the Jewish community that has been kept in darkness by their elders and by their false teachings, that needs a lot of help. And right at this point, boy, they're heading to destruction really quick. And some people are trying to prevent that, but these people will not listen. They're like not letting people work for their benefit. They're stopping people like me talking about the realities of what's going on. And they don't seem to care about other people, really, for whatever their reasons are. Oh, oh, there's a lot of them. So many. Oh, there'll be many antichrists. And there are. They put on a good show, but they aren't good. So, for the ones of you, once again, that don't have to put on a good show because you know what you're talking about, your advice is sound and the love of God is true in your heart for other people, and that's who you serve and who you've always served. Um, Enough goodness couldn't come your way soon enough, you know. If that's not who you are, I wish for you, if you want to be, for that strength within you. If you don't want to be, I don't know if you hear my words or how much value you take in that integrity that I do possess, that I could teach a lot of other people. especially young people. I'm going to be doing a video exclusively talking to young people and kids coming up here. I'm not quite sure when. There's a lot going on in some people's lives right now that are just devastating. And I'm going to wait till this kind of passes over a little bit and give them some time to recuperate from that hell. And then I'll be talking about, from a grandmother's point of view, what I would say if everybody was my grandchild on this planet. And I'm going to make a video talking about maybe what I would have wanted to hear when I was young, and what I believe anybody with a good heart will want to hear no matter what age you are. But you'll see it. It'll be exclusively for the kids and the youth on this planet. I'm going to talk right to them. Try to be some sort of voice of reason that they might not even have in their life. You know, hopefully I can get through to some, because just even listening to the Word of God through preachers that are not concerned with the biggest danger, which is misplaced sexuality on this planet. Just that alone, kids are not, they're left empty. They're not having the strength of men and women out here helping them in that way. Or just like from me to you, telling you, you know, like, yeah, not everybody's brain dead, not everybody's heart is wax cold, even if we had reason for it to be colder than anybody else's. We're still not going to let the ways of the world get to us and bring us down to the point where we're taking it out on anybody else like that, man or woman or whoever. You know, be like if I were a man hater, how could I ever raise a son to know the love of a mother? Or if you were a woman hater, how could you ever raise a daughter to know the love of a father? You would not be able to do that. It would be missing in you, and there's a lot of people where these types of feelings are missing. It's vacant. And they're pretending they're whole, and it's just not there. Because of whatever hurts or whatever they've been through, their sorrows, they can't see past that enough to teach the true Word of God and what it is. So, well, everybody, I'm going to let you go. I think that's probably about it for today. Just the disappointment of the fornication on this planet that people don't see as sacred anymore, and it's disturbing to me. And I'm not going to let it go, because the children of tomorrow, the youth, the adults of tomorrow, deserve a healthy life and to understand what that really means. Doesn't matter if you had it, doesn't matter if I had it. They deserve maybe what we didn't even get. That's my point. So do it right, men, ladies and gentlemen. Just do it right for them, if not for yourself. Okay? Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day, wherever you're at.